Hello everyone. The purpose of this video is kind of an invitation to you all to join me on yet another chapter that's about to unfold in my life. As some of you may remember, last year I bought this house because of a set of circumstances that befell me then. So that was kind of like a new chapter in and of itself. But this year, a whole new set of circumstances has presented themselves, or have presented themselves I should say, and I'm about to embark on a little voyage of discovery, a little voyage of discovery and development and growth and creation. At this very moment in time, Annie and I are undergoing the mind-boggling, red tape-filled minefield that is the processes involved in immigration. We have decided that it would be rather nice if Annie came over here and lived with me here in this little abode, turning it from the house that it has been for the past year into a home. And one of the things that we would really like to do is become as self-sufficient as we possibly can. Now by that I'm not going to go all tie-dyed and hempy on you, but we would like to try and grow as much of our own stuff and recycle as much of our own stuff as possible, because we have the means to do it, because I have a little garden. Plus, I have no idea what I'm doing. I have absolutely no idea. I've never planted vegetables on this kind of scale before, other than, you know, a couple of pots of tomatoes, or, well, that's about it really. So anybody who's watching this who knows better, please let me know. I would much rather, you know, it's fun to learn by your mistakes, but it's also fun to learn by others' wisdom. So please feel free to let me know what I'm doing wrong, which I dare say there will be mucho. So it's a beautiful day here. We've got the patio doors open in the bedroom, so let's go out and we'll have a look, shall we? And see what we're going to do. So this is the garden. Very basic, very, well, kind of small as well, I suppose, by some standards. But the intention is, if you can see in the centre there, I've got a little apple tree there, but cut it into 4 sections. I mean, I'll dig up all the turf anyway, and we'll use this as the actual vegetable plot. So what we've got over here, we've got a little cold frame, which has got some really good soil in it. I was raking it just the other day, clearing it out. You can see that under there. That's nice and fertile, I reckon. So we can grow some of the more sensitive varieties in there. And we've got the greenhouse here. Look at this ivy. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. The way it's growing up on that. I'm just going to leave that because that looks beautiful actually. And this area here, which is, I live in a town called Balmullo, and there's a quarry just behind Balmullo. And this is the product. It's called Balmullo chips. It's kind of like a pink granite. So I was thinking maybe this area would be great for pots, you know, herbs and like a little herb garden. Yeah. But anyway, look, here we go. Here's the greenhouse, which I tidied up the other day because it was a bit of a mess. So this is where it's all going to happen. So we've got our grow bags here for our tomatoes. I mean, the soil underneath is also quite fertile. And I've got our little frame here. This water butt, this is actually fed from a water butt which is positioned between the shed up at the back there. You could just sort of see the shed there, and the garage. And the guy who had the house before me has, you know, the guttering on the garage actually leads into this butt, which has like a ball valve, so when it starts to run down, you know, it'll open the valve and let the water through, so it's constantly kept topped up. So we have this steady supply of nice soft rainwater to keep us, or to keep the plants happy anyway. And we've got our compost bins here. This one I actually bought, and it was through a government sponsored scheme through the local council, and this only cost £8. But the guy who again lived here before me, he had this thing, which is actually a garbage bin, waste paper basket or whatever, that he's kind of dressed up a little bit. So this is also a compost bin. As you can see, it's already got some stuff starting on it, as has this one. I've got some of my waste in there. smells like only a compost bin can. But here's the really exciting thing, and this is what I'm looking forward to most of all. This is the sort of the old shed at the bottom of the garden. There's just all this junk around it. What we're going to do with this is we're going to turn it into a chicken coop, and we're going to keep a couple of chickens. I'm going to build like a little run or a little sort of enclosed area for them. I mean, I think I can dig up this sort of knot and maybe reposition that pampas grass. I don't know how deep it'll go, but this whole part of the garden, this bottom section here, it never really gets much sunlight, so it's always kind of damp and mossy. So I might actually make that the whole run for the chickens. I mean, it's actually the kind of garden where they can probably just wander around freely, because there's no way out, and you know, we've got the door there and everything's all kind of fenced off. But I mean, there are cats around, so I'd probably just keep it enclosed unless it was supervised by ourselves. So yeah, we're going to keep a couple of chickens. And what breed are we going to keep? Well, there's only one breed that we can keep, and that would of course be the Rhode Island Red. We've even got names, because we're going to get two, and we're going to call them Rhodey and Red. Because the Rhode Island Reds can produce maybe 200, 220 eggs per year per chicken. So if we've got two, I mean, there's like 400, 450 eggs. That should keep us in omelettes, shall we say. And also we're going to have like a little wildlife pond. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it. Probably maybe in here. Maybe there, I don't know. Just so that it can attract the frogs again. The puddocks, we want the puddocks. Plus I used to make bird boxes and bird tables, so I'm going to actually have a little stock of them left. I've actually got my bird table out here in the front garden. We've had a blackbird on it actually, and some starlings, but there it is there. So that's the bird table. So here's the water butts in here. This is this little sort of section between the garage and the shed. There they are. So that's the gutter pipe coming off the garage, feeds into this one, and then that's the pipe that goes down underneath the shed, down to the water butt behind the greenhouse. Looking forward to warm, balmy summer nights sitting on our little bench underneath the 2 rowan trees, which I'm going to form into a little lover's arch. So, what a beautiful day it is. Well folks, that's about it for today's video, and I really do hope you decide to take up our invitation and join Annie and myself as we fumble blindly into the unknown. I mean, at the end of the day though, it's not like if things don't work out in the garden, it's a matter of life and death. I mean, there's always Tesco's. But, you know, as Thomas Edison put it, if something does go wrong, all we're doing is finding out how not to do that particular thing. You know, it should be a lot of fun, and I have to say, the day that we sit down at the table with a meal that we've grown mostly in our own garden, that's a day I'm looking forward to. So, please join me again for part 2, whenever that may be, when I may actually get my hands dirty, on purpose, unlike normal when it's usually because I've tripped and fallen over. Anyway, we'll see you again soon. Bye.